A battalion chief for the Clark County Fire Department under arrest. He's facing charges of exploiting an elderly person. Fox 5's Drew Andre live now with what we know. Drew?
Well, John, we're told Stephen Broadwell has been with the Clark County Fire Department for more than 25 years. Henderson police arrested Broadwell Wednesday for charges of exploiting an older or vulnerable person and theft from an elderly vulnerable person. A source from Clark County Fire told us he's worked with the department since 1995. They say he's been a battalion chief since 2019, and that he is responsible for a portion of eastern Las Vegas Valley, generally east of Maryland Parkway. This is video of when we spoke to Broadwell in 2021 when an awning at La Bonita supermarket collapsed. Battalion chiefs are the department's highest-ranking personnel in charge. Now, we reached out to Clark County for more information on this arrest, but as of now, I've not heard back from them. John?
Drew, thank you. It's unclear right now if Broadwell is still employed with the county.